Oh, hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Antonio de Miqo'te, and this is D&D with a twist. Yeah, the show where...
Sorry, caught a cold. Anyway, welcome to D&D with a twist. I'll take a D&D thing, could be a class, could be a race, could be a monster, or anything really, and give it a twist. It's like the Tsum Tsum to Dere Dere anime transformation pipeline, but with a neckbeard hobby as a focus, instead of a weepy one. Sentences I write and make myself say for this? I swear to God. So when I think of Tabaxis, I think of... Tabaxis are the race for furries and people on Twitter that get into actual fights over cats being better than dogs. So Tabaxi are just big cats. Bipedal, uncomfortably tall cats. That's it. They are a race of humanoid felines. In the unending expanse that is the Forgotten Realms lore, they come from Mastica, which sounds like chew in Spanish. I wonder if that's intentional because it's fantasy South America and any Spanish speaker would notice. Anyway, Mastica, which is an XP of South America full of lush jungles. A lot of the inspiration behind the race was specifically panthers as opposed to something like lions, so they're really good at climbing trees, swimming, stealth, running extremely fast, and basically anything related to dexterity. They are upsettingly tall, going from 6 to 7 feet in height. They're said to be slender, which is also very upsetting because why deny the people the chance to play a big round cat? And their fur is described as spotted or striped, going from yellow to brownish red. You can guess how closely players follow those extremely narrow cosmetic parameters. On the mechanic side of things, Tabaxi are extremely strong. Not like they have a high strength score, they just get a lot of good things. If you play Tabaxi, your dexterity increases by 2 and your charisma increases by 1. They are honestly such important stats that getting increases in these two could benefit nearly every build. They get dark vision, like everything under the sun in D&D, a speed of 30, and a whole bunch of cat-themed features. Let's look at them. Feline agility allows you to just double your speed, essentially letting you take the dash action without taking the dash action. This can get downright stupid with the right class. A level 6 Tabaxi monk taking the dash action and the dash bonus action, and then using feline agility can move 180 feet in one turn. 180 feet! Cat's Claws allows you to have a climb speed of 20 feet and to use your claws as weapons. This only is good for monks and for flavor, but hey, it's good flavor. Next, Cat's Talent gives you proficiency in perception and stealth. Perception is the most used skill in D&D, and stealth is extremely important to certain playstyles, so these are two incredible skills to get. And you get an extra language. Neat. Tabaxis do not get additional sub-race features because there are no Tabaxi sub-races, but these sure are some strong features. As they stand, Tabaxis are extremely well suited for many classes, but they shine as monks and rogues. Their +1 to charisma doesn't make much sense with the lore, so I'm almost wondering if it's just there so they make amazing swashbucklers and bards. So before we go into more detail about Tabaxi lore, I gotta level with y'all here. If you know anything about how Tabaxi are seen among certain D&D circles, you know that they are sort of a punching bag. Now, I'm all for playful ribbing and poking some good-natured fun at furries, but I've seen some stuff like people banning Tabaxis because they are cringe and furry bait, and I have one thing to say. You are literally playing pretend around a table with other nerds. D&D is the sort of hobby that was the reason why someone would get bullied in an 80s teen comedy. I don't know what high horse you think you're looking down from at furries and other cringe interests, but it's not high at all. And the horse is also a furry. I've also seen some intellectuals complaining about how Tabaxi ruined 5th edition and that they've just been shoehorned into the game to, like, get some of that sweet furry cash, to which I have to say, Tabaxis were introduced in the 1st edition of D&D in 1981. So if they're here to ruin D&D, they sure are doing a bad job because they've been at it now for 40 years. They have stronger connections to old school D&D than, like, tieflings. So with that out of the way, I actually think that Tabaxis have some pretty cool lore related to their culture that DMs can use in their campaigns. But I'm not a huge fan of the Forgotten Realms vanilla version of the race. But there are parts of it that have nothing to do with that and are really good. Tabaxis are granted one specific feline trait. These are less racial feats and more quirks of personality. Some Tabaxis are ingenious, some are shifty, some are lazy, and some are incredibly curious. This means that Tabaxi are driven to adventure almost naturally, as they put their curiosity to good use by becoming treasure hunters, explorers, and traveling minstrels. Tabaxi culture is generally not interested in wealth. They are more fixated on accumulating stories. They would go treasure hunting and obtain centuries-old artifacts, but once they had figured out where they came from and their purpose, they would just lose interest and pass it along. Many of them set up shops where they would trade those items in exchange for good stories or other mysterious artifacts that they could spend time learning about. I think that this is for once a great example of a racial trait that has to do with the personality of the members of the race that isn't gross. Good job. It literally states that all Tabaxis are different and have different personalities and things that they value. It's not Tabaxis are by nature intelligent or stupid or violent or evil. It's all Tabaxis are inherently different. I think that's neat. But who gave Tabaxis this feline trait? Well, as I said before, there is one Tabaxi deity that is not an XP of a real-world pre-Columbian deity. This deity is the Cat Lord. Other than being the D&D deity with the coolest name, the Cat Lord is just great. The Cat Lord is the deity of all cats, from lions to house cats to Tabaxi. The Tabaxi worship him as a creator figure, as in the Cat Lord created the Tabaxi and every single other cat in existence. The thing about the Cat Lord is that he's a neutral figure, neither good nor bad. He just cares about cats and doing cat things. He is said to be indifferent to nearly everything and everyone except those things and creatures which affect the lives of cats, which is very some people's vibe.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism.
Tabaxi have an awesome way of seeing their god. They see the Cat Lord as their ruler, the one that gave them their one feline personality trait, but also as a sort of benevolent traveler that wanders the world and all the plays, watching over every cat. He's a trickster deity that defends the interest of cats from a divine, universal perspective. The other thing about the Cat Lord is that we know pretty much nothing about him. He's a very old figure in D&D, dating back to 1st edition, but even then everything we knew was pretty vague. We know that he can appear as any cat, a human, or some sort of hybrid between the two, having aspects of both human and cat. A very interesting tidbit about the Cat Lord given to us by, of all things, those old DC D&D comics is that the position of Cat Lord is inherited. The current Cat Lord chooses an heir, and then that heir becomes the next Cat Lord. And in the comic, they say that the heir is called the Kitten Lord, which is very funny, and D&D 5e canon now because I said so. All in all, I think the Cat Lord is one of the rare great D&D deities that can have an actual sizable impact in your game. It's baked into the Cat Lord that he travels and tends to things on a human level, so you can very much encounter the Cat Lord as players. Honestly, if you have a Tabaxi player, you'd be passing up a great opportunity if you don't have the Cat Lord as a presence in your campaign in some way. So that's all nice. We've looked at Tabaxi's appearance, mechanics, and lore, and this is all well and good, but what if we gave Tabaxis a new twist? So you want to play a Tabaxi?
Yeah, Tabaxis are Neko people that have a Neko-like personality trait, yeah? The most...
Man, that cold again. Sorry about that. The most well-known one of these personality traits being their curiosity. We know that the Cat Lord cares little about anything else other than the interests of cats and those that affect the lives of cats. We also know that the Cat Lord made Tabaxi along with every feline. And we know that the Cat Lord is known to appear as a human, a cat, or a human with characteristics of a cat. In other words,
A Neko Mimi.
Given all this, the choice is obvious. Normally when I do these twists, I just go with what I believe would be cool or a new perspective on existing aspects of the thing I'm giving a twist to, but I've seen what you do online. I know what you freaks want.
Yeah?
The Felis are people that have been selected by the Cat Lord himself to receive the ultimate blessing from the feline deity. Nobody knows how exactly this selection happens. It is said that the Felis are born to those that have greatly impacted the lives of cats for the better. Them being Felis is a blessing from the Cat Lord himself to thank them for their help. There are also cases where a person that had cared for a feline and defended them from harm has a brush with death. The person miraculously survives it, but they do so having changed into one of the Felis, this being a reminder of how the Cat Lord spared their lives as thanks. There are even tales of people who were awful to cats and are turned into Felis as a punishment, forced to be what they despise most. Although there are many ways to become one, nowadays most Felis are just born of the union between two Felis parents. In the same way that Tabaxi receive a feline trait from the cat lord, the Felis receive feline aspects to their appearance. Most often it manifests as feline ears like the ears of a house cat or a lynx, a feline tail, a cat nose, sharp claw-like nails, whiskers, or a combination of those. Felis believe the more cat traits one has, the more they are favored by the cat lord. Although Felis can be born to non-Felis parents, there's a distinct Felis culture in Felis communities. They are intensely self-reliant. It is seen as a great shame for a Felis to depend on anyone but themselves. And Felis children leave the nest extremely early in order to make their own luck in the world. It's not out of the ordinary to see a Felis teen tending to their own shop or taking on adventuring. This cultural push to become independent can make those that do not understand Felis culture to see them as individualistic or even selfish. But those that form a bond with a Felis quickly understand that they enjoy companionship just as much as anyone else. They just have their own way of showing it. Their need to be self-reliant does not mean that Felis don't help each other. Quite the opposite, in fact. Many cities have wide Felis networks that Felis use to help themselves and other Felis flourish. These are particularly secretive, and non-Felis are rarely, if ever, privy to the comings and goings of a Felis network. Felis share with other Tabaxi their love of stories, but they use them in a different way. Felis culture is shared orally, through songs, rhymes, and parables. That's how Felis history is communicated to the younger generation. This cultural appreciation of song and the way that music is treated as a way to teach history often makes Felis take the path of the bard, becoming traveling minstrels that share Felis tales and songs. They're often hired to play and sing in the drawing rooms of nobles, where their songs are seen as exotic and strange. It is said that Felis' presence in noble houses has given birth to a wide network of Felis bard spies that share coded messages between members through their own version of thieves' cant in the form of song. Some of these bard spies even doubling as assassins if the secret organization requires them to be. After all, Felis are just as dexterous as their Tabaxi cousins, and make for incredibly agile fighters. And all this lore is fun and all, but what's the point if you can't play your own catboy, catgirl, catperson? Well, you know I had to do it to y'all. Yes, the Felis, the alternative race for Tabaxis, is available in the description of this very video for free. Fill your D&D with anime cat people, you weeps.
Yeah.
And welcome! Making it to the end of this video was hard, so I'm proud of you. I hope you like the Felis. My goal with them was to do the obvious anime cat people for those that want that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also make them like an actual cool race that weebs and non-weebs would like to play. I tried to give them cool lore, a cool appearance, and plenty of customization options, and a spin on the mechanics of the Tabaxi. It's less of a sub-race and more of an alternate race, so it doesn't follow the traditional structure of a sub-race. But I think that's fine. I get to decide. I make these. So I hope I succeeded. Please share this mess with your friends. It really helps. Send it to your weeb friend you've been meaning to get into D&D. Send it to that weird girl in your friend group that is really into warrior cats. Send it to one of the D&D old guard to piss them off. Actually, that is a very good point. I think that out of the not very many videos I've done, this is the one that is most likely to piss people off. So leave a nice comment, be kind, and try my best. Oh, and for video updates, follow me on Twitter. Links to that below. Thank you first to my incredible video editor, Bia, at BNAZF on Twitter, who I put through the torture of editing this. And also thank you to my friend Maeve at DrawMaveDraw on Twitter for lending me their incredible voice acting talents. I expect the ooh lines I made you read will launch your voice acting career instantly, so you're welcome, and I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, it's time for the end of the video. It's now. Yes, see you soon. I love you. Spay and neuter your pets and cat people. Don't feed chocolate to dogs. It's not good for them. Or grapes. Okay, bye. Mwah.